What's up, everyone? It's Susie and Todd from Hey Grill Hey. We are here with Kingsford and Char-Griller to bring you Barbecue 101. Today, we are going to be talking about
meat.
Let's do it. Let's kick this conversation off with beef.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Your big cuts that are great for low and slow barbecue are going to be things like brisket, a Texas favorite, beef ribs, beef shoulders. These big cuts have a lot of tight connective tissue. They're not great grilled hot and fast. You really want that long cooking time. Make them tender, make them juicy, add all that smoky flavor. Next, we're gonna talk about steaks. Steaks tend to work really well for the hot and fast grilling method. You've got your fancy steaks, like your ribeyes, your fillets, your New York strips. They tend to come in at a higher price point, but they deliver tons of flavor. Lots of intramuscular marbling, which is this beautiful white flecks of fat in the meat itself. But there are other steaks too, things like skirt, flap, flank steak. They come in a little bit lower for, those budget barbecues, but they deliver a ton in terms of flavor.
Fat is flavor.
Fat is flavor. And last up, you've got burger. This is typically the most economical way to consume beef in your backyard, and everybody loves a great charcoal grilled burger. You want to choose something with a higher fat content? I like 80-20 for my burger blends. In addition to the type of meat that you're choosing and the fat on the inside, you also want to look at the color of the beef that you're buying. You want a really nice, dark, rich red color. Look at the date on the packaging, because that gives you a really key indicator to its freshness levels. And look at the grade. The grade with beef from prime, choice to select is going to differ in your price range, but it's also an indicator of how much fat is actually in the meat itself. So one of my favorite cuts of steak is actually the flap. What you got, Todd?
Ribeye all day.
Now when we're talking about low and slow, I'm a brisket girl through and through.
I like chuck roast, like pulled beef
He
from
does.
the shoulder.
He does love a pulled shoulder roast, for sure. Tons of options for using beef on your grill or your smoker. I think we should talk about some pork next.
Okay.
Pork is similar to beef in that it has a lot of different cuts, and some are better for hot and fast grilling, some work better for low and slow smoking. As far as low and slow smoking cuts, I think the most popular ones for pork would be pork shoulders and
Ribs.
ribs for sure. You see those on barbecue joint menus everywhere. They really take on that smoke flavor beautifully. And that low and slow cooking process helps break down those tight tissues, makes them melt in your mouth tender. There are also some really great cuts that you can use for hot and fast grilling. Pork chops, pork tenderloins. We've got some beautiful ones here. I think in our house we do pork tenderloins during the week.
Yeah, once a week.
Probably once a week for sure. It's so tender, it has a great flavor, and it really takes on that smoky, charry wood flavor that you get from cooking them over charcoal. Unbelievable.
So how can you pick out the best cut of pork?
That's a really great question, because pork doesn't have a standardized grading system the way that beef does. So your eyes are your best friend when you're buying pork from the grocery store. You actually want to take your pork out from under the lights that they're in the meat counter and bring them under the overhead lighting of the grocery store. And you want to look for meat that is really rosy pink to red. If it's gray or super light pink, that's not something that you want to take home with you. Check the dates. Look for that beautiful flecks of fat inside the meat itself, and you'll walk home with a beautiful piece of pork. Beef and pork, I feel like, are the two most common big cuts that we're seeing pulled from grocery store shelves.
Sure.
But chicken is always an option on our family table. It comes in several different cuts, and most of them are pretty affordable. Your leaner cuts, like the boneless, skinless chicken breasts or tenders, are great for hot and fast grilling. They take on the flavor of the grill and your seasonings very well. They also work awesome if you have a delicious marinade that'll help keep them juicy and moist. Fattier cuts like thighs, drumsticks, wings.
I love thighs.
Oh, Todd is a thigh man.
I love chicken thighs.
Todd is a chicken thigh man through and through. And the benefit of fatty chicken thighs is you can cook them either hot and fast or low and slow. They're very popular in the barbecue competition circuit, smoked low and slow, served saucy. Or we cook them at home a lot of times, boneless, skinless, grilled hot and fast with our favorite seasoning, and they go in everything throughout the week.
Chicken breasts can be dry if you overcook them, but chicken thighs, if you overcook them, it's fine.
They're definitely more forgiving because they have that higher fat content. Another thing that I love to do that definitely would fall under budget barbecue is whole chicken. They're great on the smoker. The low and slow temperature makes sure that all of the different pieces and parts cook through perfectly, gives you beautiful flavor, and pound for pound, it's one of the cheapest proteins you can get your hands on. Let's jump into one of the lesser utilized cuts of meat in the American market, and that is lamb. There's one in every family that doesn't love lamb. I myself and my kids actually enjoy lamb quite a bit, especially a rack of lamb like this one. It's basically the ribeye of lamb. It's got beautiful fat in it, great flavor. It's definitely more mild than a lot of people give lamb credit for. And when it's seasoned really well, smoked or grilled to a nice medium rare, a rack of lamb is like a beautiful treat. I will win him over. Last but not least, let's talk about seafood. This one can be a little bit tricky to cook on the grill, so I think some people stray away from it a little bit, but if you pick the right seafood, it makes all of the difference. When you're choosing fish to grill at home, you want things that are sturdy, that'll hold up well to the grill and not flake or fall apart. So we love grilling things like tuna, mahi-mahi, swordfish steaks are fantastic, but one of our favorites that we do all the time,
Salmon.
Salmon, for sure. It works great on the grill. If you have the skin on the bottom, it helps give you a little additional structure to hold things together. And if you've got a good thermometer tracking temperatures, you'll be able to pull it off so it flakes apart beautifully, has some awesome flavor from the grill. Another thing that we really enjoy cooking on the grill is shellfish. Shrimp, crab, lobster, they hold up, you don't have to worry about them falling apart, and they love that wood-fired smoky flavor. Whether you're grilling hot and fast, smoking low and slow, we covered a ton of options at different price ranges today, so you can pick the best meat that fits your family's lifestyle and budget. But I also think you should try something new. Barbecue is all about having fun, and part of that for me is the process of experimenting, seeing what your family likes, and putting something yummy and delicious on the grill.
I choose these.
Todd chooses the ribeyes. I know what we're having for dinner tonight.